Hello and welcome. It might sound weird, but we actually have some Dota going on here on HeflaTV HB1. This is going to be the South America Challenge in a best of three between Not Today and Pain Gaming. I'm GrandisV, and I'll be joined by Mikelorus throughout the duration of these games.
I actually haven't casted NoT today since they split up and reformed, so should be pretty interesting. Paint Gaming have had a relatively stable lineup so far. I mean, Tavo and HFN, kind of the newer faces there. So both these two teams, though they have been in the South American scene forever, are kind of new. So this should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, as you've already said, Pain are a little bit more stable when it comes to the people that have been sticking around with them. They'll start things off with the Troll Warlord first pick. There's a lot of supports left in the pool that Not Today could pick from, and well, that's because we see mostly Cores banned out. Most interestingly, the Slark banned out very early on.
Yeah, Slark and Sniper getting rather early bans. So seems like Pain just don't want to deal with that hero, and that's understandable. It's a very annoying hero to deal with, so might as well take it out. Not today. They do like themselves, or they did like themselves, some Brewmaster. So maybe they're going to be grabbing that up for, I believe, Smash, unless they decided to change things up in a drastic way. Would be a reasonable pickup as well. They instead decide to go for the Batrider Vengeful Spirit combo, and that's probably a little bit more consistent. You get guaranteed initiation most of the time this way.
Yeah, and I think you can't really go wrong with that, especially on the dire side. Your Roshan fight, as well as your ability to take Roshan, is pretty easy as well. So Not Today find themselves with a pretty comfortable first two, and I don't think that Pain Gaming are at any disadvantage either. If they pick up a Lion here, I think we're pretty much in for the standard opener in this current metagame, and well, there you go.
Yeah, so no curveballs just yet, and it does leave both teams rather open. Not today, with only one core who's pretty much pure initiation, so they could use that Batrider to buy space for a farmer like a Spectre or Medusa, or they could just put on the pressure to Pain Gaming very early on. Similarly, for Pain Gaming, Troll Warlord can get to a very dangerous late game stage, but generally, as far as carry heroes are concerned, you don't want to have just Troll Warlord on your team because just by himself he will struggle unless you give him like a lot of protected farm, but then you lose out on a lot of his potential. So both sides can flex can definitely go into many different strategies with their openings, and that's why it's standard. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called a standard opening.
Yeah, they don't pigeonhole themselves in any particular strategy. Yeah, I don't think there's really much else to talk about. As far as the top tier heroes that are still left inside the pool, where supports are concerned, we have the Witch Doctor, and that's pretty much about it. Witch Doctor and Earthshaker are the two that come to mind.
Yeah, Shaker is pretty good versus Batrider. You could try to slow him down in the early stages. Later on, you'll be able to throw out a Fissure, which has a really long range, and well, it seems like Pain Gaming actually don't want to grab that one for themselves. Going to deny it away to Not Today. Shaker, as you said, is just a generally strong hero. So taking that one out, wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of hate towards that Witch Doctor. Even Skywrath Mage would be a decent pickup for Not Today if they want to get that Lasso into Mystic Flare combination going. But aside from that, just banning out the strong heroes seems like a reasonable play right now. Maybe that Slark ban is going to play in a little bit more, but like maybe Pain Gaming are setting up for a Jaw Ranger or something like that. But against a Batrider, they probably don't want to be doing that strategy.
Yeah, I mean, right now neither team has really showed us anything. It's going to be more up to the teams and what they're scared of, and maybe some intel that they're getting from scrims and just playing against each other more than anything else. Yeah, for now it's going to be Not Today to eat through a majority of their reserve time in this first ban. I'm honestly not sure what's taking them so long. I wonder what they're considering.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of heroes to select, first of all, and each of those heroes tends to lend itself down as a different game plan. So they are probably just deciding what type of game plan in general they're going to be going for. And then once they decide that, then the heroes that you actually select are pretty easy. So it's going to be a Dazzle ban first off. It seems like they're a little bit scared about the fact that Pay Gaming can take this super late. Getting, I don't know, a Phantom Assassin or something with Dazzle can be pretty dangerous if you are on the Pain game. If you're on the Not Today side, you don't really want to have that to deal with on Pain Gaming. But it seems like both teams are going to take a little bit of pressure out of those supports. And Shadow Fiend, another generally strong hero, going to be getting the boot away from Pain Gaming. So just trying to target Smash a little bit in that mid lane.
Yeah, very hard to shut down that Shadow Fiend, and would have been pretty nice for Not Today to pick up. I don't think either team actually plays Chen very often, so I don't think we'll see that in either of the next phases.
Yeah, it's a powerful hero if you have a player who can actually handle it. And I don't think I've actually seen these guys pick up the Chen before. Of course, couple new players swapped out since last I've really casted these two teams. So I could just be a little bit out of the loop. But hey, if they want to go for a Chen, then it would be a reasonable pick for both of them. They're instead going to ban Anti-Mage from NoT today. I mean, unless they're planning on going for like a Storm Spirit or having some awkward matchups or planning on getting Medusa, then that ban wouldn't make sense. But seeing as though they have picked up Medusa, the ban is completely justified.
Yeah, it is going to be Medusa up against a Lion. That Managed Rain does get a decent amount of work done, and also Warlord's blind chance and just his ability to fight the Medusa if he's able to get into position is very annoying, but still, it's going to be a reasonable pick for NoT today. This will make the Nyx Assassin look a lot more attractive for their offlane. And right now, they may or may not be able to get away with it, but I think that'll be left till later. Or they can pick up the Beastmaster. They have a lot of plus attack speed coming out from Beastmaster's aura, as well as from the Troll, but as of now, nobody really to benefit from it outside of the Warlord.
Yeah, but this is a pretty cool thing that's going on right now. Not today with that Medusa pick are signaling that they're going to be playing this game a little bit slower. They want to try to draw this game out to a little bit more of a late game stage where Medusa is going to pretty much just win it by herself. And for Pain, they obviously recognize that since you don't really pick up a Medusa and then try to go aggressive early. Picking up a Beastmaster it's an inherently aggressive hero. So if you're going to be picking up that hero, you're going to be playing very aggressively and you're going to try to punish that Medusa pick. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. You're probably going to lose in the late game. But mid game is where Pain Gaming are looking to turn up the heat. And if they pick up anyone who could actually use this attack speed, anyone with a bash or an on-hit effect, then they could really get some serious heat going. I think I've seen London Conspiracy draft a very similar draft, and they decided to go for an Alchemist. So maybe that's in consideration for Pain.
I would love to see an Alk. I'm not sure if that's the course of action for them. I think Slark would have actually been one of my first picks, but that was banned out in the first stage. Abaddon picked up by NoT today. They're going to put a lot of faith in the Medusa this game. Pretty much all eggs into that basket with defensive swaps as well as Aphotic Shields to back her up.
Yeah, whenever you pick up an Abaddon, you're turning a little bit of the pressure in the game away from your supports towards your carry. And then the Abaddon is pretty much going to have the goal of protect the Medusa. There are many things that you have to protect your Medusa from, so you probably won't be able to Aphotic Shield all of them. The one that you really want to block is that Roar, but then you have Hexes and Spikes to deal with, and well, you will only be able to block one, so it's going to be a little bit difficult for this Abaddon since Pain Gaming are so heavily stacked on the crowd control, but it's a pretty clear game plan for NoT today. They're just going to pick up a solid mid laner, someone who could maybe start some fights early on, maybe get some early kills going, like a Queen of Pain or something, and then just try to protect this Medusa. And hopefully for them, Pain Gaming don't just snowball out of control.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the pick is going to be for Pain. However, I think they're probably just going to snag up their next support here. Outside of what's left, I'm not exactly sure what's the best here. Any thoughts on it?
Well, Skywrath Mage is still looking pretty good. Roar into a Mystic Flare would just completely destroy whoever they manage to tag with that. They can wait for their last support and decide to grab a core, and I think that's probably a little bit better for them since NoT today don't really want any more supports for their side. So they just have Pain Gaming just have to deal with one support ban. Whereas if they pick up a core here, then they could effectively ban out another core from NoT today. But it seems like they are going to go for a support. Sand King is the pick for them, and it's just another stun, so probably can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, although in the very early portion of this game, it might slow them down a little bit to be farming up for a Blink Dagger on the SK. It's still completely worth it, and they have the Lion to set up for Burrow Strike early, so there is ganking potential there. All around, I think it's just a really solid support. If Earthshaker was in the pool, I'd say that they'd probably be more inclined to pick up the ES, but you know what? I think this is completely reasonable.
Yeah, Earthshaker and Sand King are very similar in how they behave, so can't get one, grab the other, and you're most of the time going to be kind of okay with that. We have a Tinker Band coming out from NoT today, and it's a nice little combination with the Beastmaster, that's for sure, but I don't really know if Tinker would have been a huge pick for Pain Gaming, whereas for their ban, banning out the Ember, now that's something I can get a little bit more behind. It's someone who could just take over the entire game if he gets off to a good start.
The hero that I'd love to see for Pain that I'm not sure they're going to pick up is a Slardar. Would be really nice to have with that Battle Trance as well as the Feral Beast or Feral Impress, whatever that aura is called. Inner Beast. My goodness. Either way, just a lot of bashes coming out from him and a vast amount of damage and initiation coming out from their team in its entirety, but I'm not sure if they're going to go for that.
Yeah, it is frequently pretty difficult to suggest a team go for Slardar, but they have so much attack speed already that getting anyone with that on-hit effect is going to be amazing, and Slardar seems to be the one that is probably the most viable. At least unless I'm just completely missing some, but not today. They are going to grab Alina for their mid game. Uh, I mean mid game and mid lane Lina, but she is going to be going up against what I assume to be a Troll Warlord. That's a pretty good matchup for the Lina, but I don't know if she could do as much heavy lifting as Not Today really need her to.
Yeah, I think something a little bit more stable, like a Puck or the Queen of Pain you were talking about earlier, probably would have served them better. But well, we'll just have to see. This relies very heavily on the Blink Dagger coming out from the Batrider very early on. If Not Today really want to be able to control the pace.
Yeah, they might end up running a little bit low on damage. Lena has a lot of burst, and that'll be able to kill off one person. But then her sustained damage output isn't that high, especially when she's going up against the likes of Troll Warlord. Abaddon has pretty much zero damage output, and Batrider has a little bit, but situational as well. Pain, they're going to grab a TA, so maybe going to send that in the mid lane towards Lena, and that's probably a better matchup for the Pain gaming side, as the burst of Lena is sometimes just not going to do anything versus the Templar Assassin, and the upside there is just huge.
Well, to introduce our lineups on the Radiant side of the map, it is Pain Gaming with Tavo taking on the Beastmaster towards the offlane, Baga going playing on the Sand King, followed by King RD on the support line, HFN on the Templar Assassin, and last but not least, Troll by ADR.
And for the Not Today side, we got Van, who's going to be playing the Batrider, currently heading to the bottom lane. Smash is going to be playing the mid lane. Lita Misko is on the Abaddon support. Towlers is going to be playing the Vengeful Spirit. And then up towards top, we got the Medusa played by Ifrit. Seems like Not Today might be considering just pure dual lanes. And this is actually kind of weird. I don't really think this is an off lane that can succeed. Unless it's, well, why is Beastmaster here? Okay, Sand King's gonna make the rotation in, so yeah, I don't really see this lane succeeding, even if it was just the Batrider, and Abaddon isn't able to help out that much.
I think the bigger plan for Not Today is just to have the Batrider go into the jungle very early on, but this is also going to draw the Venge off of the lane. I think just Abaddon preparing stacks would be a little bit more productive. Another side note, what the heck is that Batrider mount?
Um, is that a machine?
It's a flying clockwork.
Okay, that is just stupid, because it's not a bat. He's supposed to be riding a bat.
Right, well, we'll leave that there. For now, we'll see the bounty in contention from either side. Looks like Not Today will snag the one in bottom and up top. Medusa's left completely alone there, and, well, Lina is going to secure the one for bottom rune already Not Today with a slight advantage, and this is going to be pretty significant in the mid lane at the very least.
I would have expected Pain to try to contest these. Beastmaster, not that great at level 1 squabbles, but Lion and Sand King and Troll are all really good, and Templar Assassin's amazing. So I think they probably could have gotten away with contesting some of those, at the very least top lane, and to have Beastmaster and Medusa get into a fist fight. Beastmaster is definitely going to take the lead there, especially if he has a little bit of help from his little pig. So it's going to be, as you said, a little bit of an edge going towards Not Today, but depending on how the lanes go, that edge can very easily be mitigated by the Pain side, and it looks like already Pain are off to a fantastic start down towards bottom. You would rather have one hero suffer this, not two.
Yeah, Batrider and Abaddon completely zoned off of the creep wave, and Troll merrily farms away. Mid lane, the TA did eat a decent amount of harass coming up from Lina in the first wave, but now that the bottle's come out for HFN, that's going to be remedied quite nicely, and should be able to keep herself at a decent advantage. Tavo currently trading blows with the Vengeful Spirit, or more or less the Vengeful Spirit's hitting the board. They'll throw a Magic Missile into Tavo, but killing off this Beastmaster doesn't seem like a possibility.
Yeah, Beastmaster is rather tanky just as a hero. Not the most HP in armor, but 4 armor and 644 HP is definitely respectable to say the least. He's no Ogre Magi, but he can fight with the best of them, especially when you're talking about a Vengeful Spirit who just has less base damage and less HP overall. So Beastmaster is not really going to be pressured that much up in this top lane. I guess to be fair to this Abaddon, even if he was up here, he wouldn't be able to do that much. Just not today. Whenever you pick up an Abaddon, you're typically going to be a little bit more passive. So this is a Beastmaster who's having a pretty free time. He's not getting zoned off of the creep wave that much, and he's able to get, on occasion, some CS. So compare that to the Batrider, who has actually a much better time than I thought, but man, this Batrider's really got to be careful.
Yeah, he does. Just with the raw amount of lockdown and damage that's coming out from Pain's lineup, if he gets snagged by the Hex, which isn't leveled up currently by the line, just at the point Earth Spike and into Mana Drain. But if he gets disabled once, then follow-ups soon to come afterwards. For now, Pain will just look to stack up and pull.
Yeah, Baga doesn't have any huge stacks going, which is something that he probably is going to want to get for a little bit later. Both the Sand King and as well as the Beastmaster, and to a lesser extent the Templar Assassin, could all make great use off of just a huge stack, or a huge amount of stacks. So they tried to stack with the medium. Unfortunately for them, Batrider is probably going to put a stop to that. So Batrider's going to be thankful for that one. But stacks are going to be great for Pain, and for Not Today, they would like some stacks for the Medusa, but it definitely takes her a lot longer to actually get value out of those stacks.
And get to a point where she can farm them. Tavo completely out of mana because of the Mystic Snake, which is going to be really annoying for the Beastmaster until he gets his hands onto a Soul Ring or something of those likes. But still isn't able to put much pressure onto the Dusa. Right now, mostly just a farm fest in all of these lanes. Both teams trading pretty evenly.
Yeah, up towards top, Batrider has left the bottom lane, and he is going to start jungling himself. Doesn't have any stacks going just yet, but you don't really need that. As long as you don't get Mud Golems, which he did, unfortunately for him, he's going to be farming decently. And now the bottom lane is more or less conceded by Not Today, which was probably going to be the play, as I said, from the get-go. Abaddon's going to awkwardly stick around, but this is only a level 1 hero going up against a level 3 troll. That in and of itself is bad. Add a lion into that, and it gets really bad, especially if he gets hit with a single stun here. Luckily for the Abaddon, the lion's a little bit too slow, and the lion doesn't have level 2 Hex, and if he gets a little bit out of position, it's such an easy kill for Pain.
It really is. Right now, Mystica is not really getting anything. He's going to get Earth Spiked up. They do have a Hex. No, it's actually level 3 into the Earth Spike, but the Troll's still able to bridge the gap a little bit. We'll throw a couple of axes and break the shield. For now, he survives, and will find himself level 2, but pretty much he could be just pulling inside this, over in the side camp, and get a little bit more experience there. It's not the end of the world for Not Today, but still unfortunate. This Abaddon's not really doing much.
Troll leading the way in CS. Templar Assassin not too far behind. At least for Not Today, they're going to be getting some farm on another one of their core heroes in Van's jungling, and Baga is going to start to get to his jungle unless he misses up the pull. Oh man, Baga, that's not how Sandstorm works. That's unfortunate for him, but as you said, a little bit more of a farm fest in this game, but it's very easy for any one of these offlane heroes to slip up and then very quickly give over a death. Or even like the TA versus Lina matchup. Once TA hits that level 6, which is incoming, the Lina is none too safe.
Yeah, definitely so. And if Templar Assassin gets roamed on with a magic missile, and if they capture when Refraction's down, could be a similar story in return. But yeah, we'll have to see. With the DD and level 6 after this creep wave, even without level 6, TA is going to go very strong into Smash. We'll drop her down lower than half, but without those psionic traps, can't actually secure the kill.
It's not going to cost her anything. She sells a bottle, and Smash got pretty thoroughly messed up just from those actually it was actually just 2 hits. So Templar Assassin making the very responsible decision and not going to test the tower and the burst damage of Lina. So just going to use that to apply a little bit more pressure towards the lane. And now that the Templar Assassin does have those traps, Lina is really got to be careful. Like, it's not going to be impossible for the Templar Assassin to just dive the tower and get a very fast kill on Smash.
Honestly, there might have been a little bit of an opening there if the creep wave wasn't coming in so quickly for HFN. Still, things are looking good for the TA. Slight advantage over the Lina when it comes to farm, but pretty much that's all we have to talk about. There's no major rotations, and there probably won't be until the Sand King and Batrider pick up their Blink Daggers, and it looks like Bat's going to be a lot faster in farming than the SK, since he has a large stack that he's cleaning up, and the SK not so much. He has double in the large camp, and that's about it.
And that's just not good enough. This Sand King is going to be jungling very slowly. Clearly, he hasn't really done anything in lane as far as getting kills is concerned. With an only level 1 Burst Strike, it's going to be really hard to put that to any use. So Baga is going to have a much, much slower Blink Dagger than the Batrider, and that's going to mean that Not Today have an opening with which they could use this Batrider to get a whole bunch more kills and try to accelerate their Lina. If they accelerate their Lina, then she can therefore provide cover to the Medusa a little bit down the line. So Not Today, they're actually not doing too poorly. The net worth is fairly even right now, but I would expect Not Today to pull ahead slowly but surely, given the jungling status of this Batrider, unless he dies to this TA with a haste. And Batrider can very easily die right now. She just needs to get hit once, I think. He's going to Firefly away, and he does see the TA coming, so he's, luckily for him, going to live.
Next time around, TA is going to have vision over the Batrider if he comes around, and maybe they just kill the Lina. Smash, even under his tower, isn't necessarily safe. They do bring in some support with the Vengeful Spirit. We'll fill up the bottle of the Lina on the way there, too. But right now, TA just isn't a potential kill for Not Today, and this is going to leave Beastmaster with some alone time in top.
Yeah, Beastmaster going to get a little bit more experience, but quite frankly, he's good to go. You would like level 7 because you're pretty much there already, so you're just, yeah, there it is. Level 7 is up, level 4, level 4 Hawk, but crucially he has that Primal Roar, and this is a hero whose job is very similar to the Batrider, except it doesn't really need a blink. You just grab that Roar and then you try to get a couple of kills. He needs help from, at the very least, one hero, probably 2 heroes, if he is going to very convincingly get those kills. But if he does decide to make his rotation out, pretty much whatever lane he decides to go to is going to be dying if a Roar connects.
Yeah, more or less. Abaddon has managed to find himself level 5, so Mizuko is consistently getting experience, but that's not stopping ADR from putting pressure onto this tower. Already dropped to about a third HP for really nothing much committed by the Pain side other than keeping the troll farming at bottom, and that's really not much to ask.
And Troll Warlord is level 7 right now. He can very easily kill this Abaddon. If he gets 1 or 2 lucky bashes, then it's just going to be a done deal. Smash and King RD going to run into each other. That's level 1 Hex with level 2 Spike. Here comes 2 TPs. HFN has to be very quick on this kill, or he has to be very quick on his retreat. Looks like he will choose the latter. Courier is going to not take any fire, actually, so this little Badger's going to be pretty lucky to survive. Pretty sure Not Today had a free Courier right there, but for right now, it's still going to be a kill-less game.
Yeah, on Couriers and Heroes for now, we're just chilling and waiting for something to happen. Tier 1 tower and bottom's going to be taken by ADR one way or another. Let's see if Not Today can secure this deny. They'll TP into Lina, looking for this kill onto the Troll Warlord, but he's a little too fast. They'll secure the tower deny, but that's about it with this rotation.
That's still worth it for Smash to actually make that move. Unfortunately, now the mid lane is going to take a little bit of heat, but a tower deny at this stage when you have almost a complete stalemate does mean a lot. And oh man, thoughts on this Batrider item build?
Boots of Travel first. I hate it. I just don't really understand why you'd forego the blink. It's nice to have that global presence and does save you a decent amount of money on TPs. I'm okay with it after the blink dagger, but really it's just sacrificing so much of what makes this hero great. I think without that blink initiation, Batrider's a lot weaker. It helps your farming speed a lot though. If you're playing in a super passive game, it's an okay item choice, but I'm not sure this is the time.
See, if he had a Blink Dagger right here, I'm pretty sure that would have been a kill. Especially with the 0-0 kill score right now, Blink Dagger just gets so much better. If you could, dump 2,200 gold into an item that's going to be giving you first blood on top of everything else that you get from getting a kill, that just is value upon value. Boots of Travels won't really be doing that, so this could have been a very easy first blood for the Not Today side, but instead they're going to wait for a little while longer. And suddenly, that race that I was talking about between the Sand King and the Batrider is almost assuredly going to be won by Baga, unless the Sand King also wants to grab Boots of Travels, which I hope was not going to happen. First blood for the neutral creeps.
Yeah, unfortunately, TA going to end up dying to the Ancient stack that she was trying to farm up. In the end, that actually doesn't impact anything at all, even though the kill score does read 0-1. Just going to be unfortunate time where TA is not able to farm. And after going for a Midas, she'd really like to be doing that. Looks like both teams have just signed an agreement not to fight pretty much at all. And, well, we'll just have to see what's going to start the aggression. I really thought it was the Blink Dagger on Bat. But even though we've kind of knocked the Boots of Travel, he's still going to have a decent timing on the Blink Dagger. It just could have been a little bit better.
Yeah, Boots of Travel is going to help him support his allies, but it seems like Pain just aren't really in the business of doing that just yet, since also their Beastmaster up towards top has yet to leave the lane. Level 8 is packing some pretty serious heat with Wild Axes as well as that Roar. Reducer getting chunked down pretty heavily by that. But I'm actually really surprised that these teams aren't making more aggressive plays. Like, they tried to go for the Lino once. Other than that, Lion has barely casted any skills. They're pretty much just going to take this into the late game. And in that sense, I like the choice of the Templar Assassin to go for this Hand of Midas. The Troll also going to go for potentially a little bit more of a farming-oriented build with this Helm of the Dominator. So both teams are prepared to take this into the late game. But for Pain, I don't really think that should have been their game plan from the get-go. They're up against Medusa, and it's probably best to not test her in the late game.
Yeah, I think that's fair, even though they do have a dual core of the TA and the Troll to back that up. It's close, but I think it's an unnecessary risk, and that's the bottom line. Roar coming out, or rather, Howl from the Vengeful Spirit's going to scout out the stack being farmed up by the TA, but in the end, it's going to serve more to help the TA with the minus armor applied to the neutrals.
Well, she dies again. That would be a little bit embarrassing for a Templar Assassin. It is awfully bold of her to go for such a large stack of Ancients this early on in the game. It's going to help her farm out for sure, but putting yourself at some unnecessary risk. It seems like with their agreement to not actually kill each other, man, put yourself in as much risk as you could possibly get into because you're not going to be punished, at least not yet. I'm pretty sure they did the good old StarCraft 15-minute no rush. So soon we're going to be seeing carriers and everything, and it's going to be crazy.
Well, Baka does have the Blink Dagger, so maybe the silence is going to be broken by the Blink Dagger on the SK. He's level 6 and has no Epicenter, so they are going to have that burst damage to deal with, but just having the way to initiate on the enemy team is wonderful. If they can secure a First Blood onto the Deucet, that would be amazing. But it looks like they might decide to go elsewhere. Smoked up with 3 of their heroes. Let's see what they decide on.
They have a Finger of Death. Quite honestly, they don't even need Tavo here to get kills, especially if they're going to be going towards the mid lane where they see a Vengeful Spirit, a Blink Burst Strike, Finger of Death, and that's an instant kill. So they're hopefully going to find someone else. I mean, that's what they want. They want to find someone else besides this Vengeful Spirit, but they'll take what they can get. Easy First Blood there, and is this TP going to be canceled? No, Misko doesn't do it. He's going to have his ultimate here, and he will use it. Roar is there, however, and HFN is there with some extra right-click damage. Spike through to the Lina, as Misko still tanking some shots. Here comes Van with those boots of travel, so he will close the distance very quickly, going for Tavo, it looks like, who is going to try to escape from this Lina. At the same time, they're going to bump back King RD into the clutches of Ifrit. King RD should take a fall right now as they throw the Laguna Blade over towards the Beastmaster, making it a 2-for-1 in favor of Not Today.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that's completely fine for Not Today since they get so much experience on the Lina and Abaddon both. And lose the Avenge, even though it is First Blood, they lost it to the Lion coming out from Pain. And although this is going to be some extra gold for Lion to save it for his Blink, since he died after the fact, it doesn't actually mean much other than upgraded Wand. So I think Not Today are completely happy with that.
Yeah, Lena's going to get a little bit closer to her Yule Scepter. That's another item that can kind of break stalemate since it is very easy to set up kills with that. And similarly, the Batrider getting an assist, he's going to be a little bit closer to his Blink Dagger, which he already delayed, but the Boots of Travels gave him a little bit of value there. Could have been greater as he, previously missed a First Blood opportunity. But hey, now you have Travels and you're very close to Blink, and not a terrible timing either. So for the Batrider, even though he made a let's say, different decision than what most players would normally decide to do, he's not really being punished too much for it.
Yeah, I honestly think it's working out. I think we can kind of equate it to a Hand of Midas for Batrider that's not a Hand of Midas.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a Boots of Midas.
Boots of Midas. And, well, with the state of this game, I think that's a fine choice. He's going to have the Blink Dagger, and, well, with that extra movement speed, it's going to be able to pull people out quite far out of position. For now, the net worth is being dominated by the Troll, as he's been happily farming away inside the jungle, and the TA both, but Medusa's not far behind. Both teams are getting their items slowly but surely.
Baga and King RD, they're smoked up, and they're going to look this time towards the top lane. They see the Abaddon, but that's a very, very difficult kill to take. Even though they do have a lot of damage here with the Troll Warlord, they would much rather go for the Medusa, who's right next to the Abaddon. Do they actually want to dive a tier 1? Clearly, the last time they did it, it didn't really work out that well for them. And this time, they also don't have a Finger of Death. So they're going to post up around this area, but now Van's going to blink in for a lasso onto King RD. Couple of axes from the Troll, plus the Whirling. King RD going to get a 2-man spike, try to disengage from it. Ifrit is going to not get the kill. Bat right after Flame Break is going to get that. And it seems like Pain, well, that was an utter failure as far as smoke ganks are concerned. Over towards mid, Beastmaster was, well, annihilated by Smash. I don't really know what he's trying to do there. I can only assume he got surprised by the Yule Scepter pickup.
Yep, Yule Scepter into LSA easy combo for Not Today, and just like that, 1 to 5 is our kill score. It's a little bit deceptive since we do have that TA death to neutrals, but still 1 to 4 is completely acceptable for them. But I don't know, Pain aren't really falling behind either, on their cores at the very least. Their supports are the ones that are really suffering.
Well, they're going to try to go for top Ifrit and Misko. Baga is going to come in with a Burst Strike. Ifrit, though, seemingly taking no damage. King RD needs to throw his damage towards Ifrit. He's going to instead throw a Hex towards the Abaddon. It looks like HFN is actually going to disconnect. That's a little bit unfortunate for them. That probably could have been a kill if they just decided to focus on the Medusa in, with all of their tools. But again, they're pretty close to a tier 1 tower, so it's very easy for Not Today to teleport in support. And Abaddon is there. Level 4 Aphotic Shield and a level 3 Miscoil is a hell of a lot of extra HP for that Medusa. So even though I think there was an opportunity there for them, they made the right call by deciding not to go for that.
Yeah, it's just a little too difficult at this point in the game. Ifrit, even without any major items, just the Yasha and Ultimate Orb towards Scotty, presumably, is enough to keep him safe 9 times out of 10, as long as he has supports behind him. And even without the Venge defensive swap, it's still completely fine. Excuse
I
me.
believe I believe that was the first usage of Blink Dagger, however, from the Batrider. It was a very short one, but he used it to close the distance on the line, dragged him back a little bit. It didn't really do much. Oh, wait, no, that was previous on the line. Never mind. But okay, they have shown off their Blink Dagger on the Batrider, and it did get him a kill at the end of it, but it's just one kill for now on him, but hey, it's step one. Lena also might be going for a Blink Dagger. Blink into Yule's maybe sometimes going to be a little bit unnecessary, but it is a very easy way to set up kills. And actually, Lena is maybe in a little bit of trouble right now.
Well, potentially. ADR is here with ranged axes throw. He won't have melee to follow it up, but maybe he can just give Delina the beatdown to Smash. As really no mana to speak of. 10 wand charges as well as Yule's Scepter. I think she gets out of here.
Yeah, she's definitely going to take a lot of damage. However, ADR maybe switch to Intreads, melee axes, try for a first hit bash. If the stars align, ADR might be able to bring Smash very low, but Yule Scepter should more or less keep Smash safe, not to mention the 10 Magic Wand charges. But yeah, it's kind of an oddly slow game from Pain. Like, I was giving that whole spiel about how the Beastmaster was being picked up to punish the late game oriented Not Today, yet Pain are just kind of stagnating right now, and that is not really what their draft wants to be doing. Whenever you have a TA, you want her to be balling out of control. Beastmaster, you want him to be ganking like clockwork whenever his roar is up, but they haven't done that, and that just means Not Today are more comfortable to just sit back and play a little bit more defensively.
Yeah, definitely so. The only roar we've seen as of yet from the Beastmaster was on the Abaddon. That didn't really net them anything. Smash is going to get hit twice by axes coming out from ADR. Turns for an LSA, but there's no opening. So Lena is going to be able to survive for a little bit longer yet, as Not Today continue farming up. They've prepped themselves a large ancient stack for the Medusa to farm. They'll slow down Smash, but with an Invis rune and, well, no detection on the line or the TA means that they can't actually go for that.
There actually is a random Sentry Ward and Observer combo in the mid lane, so if Smash was to go in that direction, then he could potentially be in a little bit of trouble, but he's going to back off and just grab that point booster. So it looks like he wants to go for that Aghanim Scepter upgrade. That's a reasonable way to go. I mean, just a lot of pure damage. Who could say no to that? And well, he's actually going to join with Van. Get the last one to Baga. That's a very easy kill. Laguna Blade plus that Dragon Slave. And Sand King doesn't really stand a chance, nor does ADR with that Yule Scepter.
Usually, dewarding in your side of the woods is pretty safe, but with the Boots of Travel on the Batrider as well as the Blink, he's very mobile around the map, and they'll be able to find a very easy kill and a tower denial in mid, which is actually pretty important. It's going to slow down Pain by a little bit, but they're still out farming the Dusa. With the SNY up for the Troll Warlord, and with Templar Assassin thinking of a next item after the Blink Dagger, I'd really like to see Pain group up and look for some pickoffs.
Yeah, as you said, they are leading the way in net worth, but all of that lead, all of that gold that they have built into Blink Daggers and Sanjin Yashas and Helmet Dominators isn't really doing anything for them right now. So yeah, the Sanjin Yasha is a decently high ticket item, but if you're not actually using it to apply pressure in the early mid game about right now, then there's no point in actually having it. You might as well be going for a butterfly since you're sitting on items or gold that doesn't do anything for you. So Not Today have, I would say, a little bit more useful gold invested, like Boots of Travels on the Batrider now is looking really good. The Medusa's going to go for a Scotty, that's also going to be really good. Even the Aghanim Scepter is the same thing. So Pain, they have good items for right now, but they're not playing with those items, and that's problematic.
Yeah, I think that they need to change something pretty drastically. Smoke Up coming out from Van. This Batrider is probably going to find himself a pretty easy pickoff. He's currently not detected. And, well, they might bump into ADR as he's farming up. If he Fireflies now, he's going to see him blink lasso. The rest of his team's a little bit far incoming, but it looks like they'll be able to find him out. Yule Scepter, long range, coming out from the Lena, but no LSA to follow that up. And now the Bat's going to get turned around upon. The ranged axe is going to be thrown out, but he finds a haste rune. In the meantime, LSA, as well as the Laguna Blade onto the Sand King, he's going to be dropped down, but with the Meld Strike, Lena also melts. They'll find themselves Avenge and just slap her down as the Troll Warlord finds himself a killing spree. Or rather, the TA finds herself a killing spree to end, and in the end, Not Today don't find anything.
Yeah, that is, again, very difficult to do. You're trying to pick a fight very close to the enemy's tier 1. Not to mention the fact that the Batrider was very far away from the rest of his team. He's very close to a 4-staff, but that just means he doesn't have a 4-staff. So unable to bring the Troll Warlord closer to the Lena, who could have very easily put him in a body bag if she was allowed to unleash her combo. But Pain, they were pretty much at the ready with their teleportation scrolls. And when you have such a passive game, you could bet that everyone is going to have TP scrolls. Up towards top, ADR is going to be just fine. There's a wave. ADR wants to fight this one, actually. Here comes the epicenter from Baga, and that will be a kill on the Venture Spirit. Very easily done there. Looks like Medusa wants to get the hell out of there. Lina is going to come in. ADR has no mana. This is where you want your troll to be fighting, though. Smash going to set up for a combo. There is a level 2 Laguna Blade. LSA going to land onto ADR as he returns. Snake not quite going to do the job, but they will get him in the end. That's definitely not a trade that Pain want to be making.
And yet another tier 1 tower in deny range, so they expect the Medusa to make quick work of soon. The TA's in mid, they'll look for the Blink Lasso, can't quite find it, but the Flame Break is going to bounce TA a little bit further back and continuously being slowed. They just don't have a way to bridge the gap, and TA is going to be able to walk out of there alive.
They actually have a Yule Scepter on Abaddon. He wasn't really needed to play that defensive role this entire game. Leeching experience in the bottom lane for a good part of it, and he's gotten himself a decent amount of gold. I don't really know if this is the item that you want. I mean, Yule Scepter is definitely a good item, but maybe Force Staff would have been a little bit better to save his allies. Not quite sure, but either way, Abaddon is packing another disable that Pain have to worry about.
Yeah, well, the team might not be needing to worry about that inside the fights proper. She has the BKB completed. Doesn't have any of the components on herself, but we'll be able to fly that out anytime. Lina's going to get the tower denial up towards top, and what will continue on this very passive state of the game. Neither team have made very many aggressive movements onto the enemy side of the map for quite some time.
Yeah, but that's the third tower deny from Not Today. They have lost 3 towers, all 3 of which Not Today have denied away from Pain, and there's still a slight net worth lead towards Pain, but they would be in such a better position if they got any one of those towers destroyed by their own team. So Not Today, they're doing pretty well at trying to slow down Pain as much as they can, but still, Troll Warlord working with a pretty much dead item in that Sanjin Yasha. Templar Assassin Blink Dagger barely being used at all. And now there's an Eye of Scotty on the Medusa. Ifrit is not farming as fast as the Templar Assassin now, but still the Medusa is going to be able to accelerate every single item she gets. She's going to be able to clear faster and get to more places more often. So I think Not Today are in a pretty good spot right now just because they're allowed to play the game that they wanted to.
And they also have an Aghanim Scepter up for the Lina. If the refraction isn't up for HFN, that Aghanim Scepter Laguna Blade is going to be doing a lot of work. Currently not level 16, but still, you can't shake a stick at it. 675 pure damage that's going to be piercing the Magic community.
Pretty much half health on most heroes. The 2 supports in the Lion and Sand King, with one more other skill from the Lina, either LSA or Dragon Slave, and that's a very easy kill that Smash can take. They are going to look to go for Tavo down towards bottom. If the Yule Scepter lands, that's going to be a kill, but Beastmaster is not going to be an easy kill if he sees you coming. They're going to try to go for this tower push. The first attempt at really any serious aggression from Not Today, but it's not even that serious. In the meantime, they're going to potentially have to deal with a Lion and TA roaming around in their jungle, but no, Not Today. They see them coming, and they're once again going to disengage. Not Today, they're playing very slippery, and it's working out very well for them because they do get a tower.
Yeah, tier 1 tower in bottom going to be dropped very low, but the Glyph's going to delay and they rub Ifrit. This is going to buy time for the TPs in, but with the ultimate coming up from Medusa, they should be able to buy plenty of space. Going to purge off the stun, and King RD is going to be dropped very low. Turns for the Finger of Death, but that hardly tickles. They'll be able to break the Aphotic Shield, but that's about it. The SK as well as the Lion have lost their lives, and now the Lasso, they're going to turn on the HFN. TP canceled by the Medusa as Ifrit wants to turn. Doesn't have a lot of mana to speak of now to turn around with the BKB on the Templar Assassin is going to come around, but with the Scotty slow, they're going to lose HFN to Pain. Everything's falling off of the wheels for them. A triple kill for Smash and a 4-for-0 trade.
Tavo might not even get out. Van is going to cancel the TP with Yule Scepter. It's going to be a 5-for-0 trade. Oh man, it's only 23 minutes in the game, but what Medusa just did right there was pretty much late game Medusa style stuff, and got to give a lot of credit to her for just actually staying there and manning up. But really, it was the Abaddon that made that fight. He was able to shield Ifrit from, I don't know which stun it was, either Sand King or Lion, but one of those Lion stuns was buffed out by the Aphotic Shield. He also was able to cancel a channeling Epicenter with that Yule Scepter. So that's something that Force Staff definitely can't do. But man, Not Today. They pretty much overperform. And Pain, at this point, they're like, what the hell just happened? We have all these items. We're supposed to be winning these fights, but you let Medusa farm. You never, ever let Medusa farm. Like, it's just not what you do.
Yeah, and she's going to be able to farm from there. Stack has a completed Manta style for Ifrit now. And Not Today find themselves in a very comfortable situation this game. Abaddon going to get his ultimate popped over inside the Radiant jungle, and with the TA trap scouting this one out, maybe they can kill off the Abaddon, but really it doesn't feel like that's a very important kill, even if they can get it. Nobody's close enough.
Yeah, well, when you only have 4 kills, a kill is a kill, and you're going to take it on whoever you can get, but yeah, he is pretty darn fast. He only has brown boots, but that Yule Scepter going to give him all the way up to 400 movement speed at the moment, which is outpacing the Batrider with Boots of Travel, so that's pretty impressive. Lina now has travels of her own, so Not Today going to reinforce wherever they need to very easily. And I think if they wanted to, they could just go back to their fountain, juice up on mana and health, get to full, and then just make a play either towards this Roshan, which they're currently pinging out, or go for this tier 1 mid lane tower. Either one of which, assuming the epicenter doesn't completely crush them with, a 3 or 4 man burrow strike on top of it, they should be able to take those fights pretty convincingly.
Yeah, especially if they have this Lincoln Sphere up for the bat. That'll make Ifrit pretty much immortal inside these team fights. It's going to be stopping the Hex from Lion and the Beastmaster Roar. And really, just with the defensive backup that Not Today have, Ifrit's already a one-man wrecking crew. Although Lincoln Sphere is a nice item to build on Dusa for the stats, it's so much nicer when you have somebody else to snag it, so you can work on bigger and better things. I think Butterfly this game would be wonderful.
Pain, they are very reliant on those right clicks, and they are kind of reliant on their magic damage as well, coming out from the Lion and coming out from the Sand King. Maybe in that regard, BKB is going to be worth it, although Howl does go right through it, as do the bashes. But for Medusa, if you do get any sort of mixed damage survivability item, as long as it costs a lot of money, Medusa's going to be happy to grab it. And it seems like she doesn't really need to concern herself too much with item selection, because Pain are applying no pressure to Medusa, so that essentially means she can farm up for whatever items she wants to go for. And that's exactly where you want to be as any one-role core hero, let alone a Medusa, who's debatably one of the scariest late-game heroes in the game.
Yeah, definitely so. Pain still have tools to take fights in theory, but let's see if they're going to be able to accomplish that. They'll put pressure onto this tier 1 tower, or tier 2 tower, excuse me, up towards top. Mystico's the only one to TP in, and he can't really repel this by himself. There is a Sand King down close, and they'll blink in Burrow Strike on a Mystico. He does have his ultimate, however, and the turnaround potential is there. Yule Scepter, they're bringing in the Batrider and the Dusa. They have a lasso, drop it onto Baga, and bring him back into Ifrit as he mops up a dominating spree and a free kill.
I don't really know why Pain decided to dive that tower. Like, they dove a tower previously in this game over in the mid lane at like minute 6 or whatever, and it didn't work out well for them. And now that Not Today are in a pretty comfortable position with their ability to save each other, just with the Abaddon having the Batrider lasso, having 2 Yule Scepters and a swap, like, it's not easy to get kills on Abaddon ever. And you're trying to dive him under a tier 2. It's just okay.
Yeah,
well,
I've
Pain
liked
wins.
Too. What?
Oh, you dropped out? Okay, so all of Not Today just dropped out.
Okay. Well, I am joining them in the
so no one on Pain dropped. Everyone on Not Today is gone. So good game, guys. Pain win 4-14, and they made an amazing comeback.
I assume that means it's some sort of server thing.
Probably, but it is weird that you dropped out as well. I'm not surprised. Valve has been dropping the ball seriously lately, so whatever.
By lately, we mean like the last 2 hours.
Hey, also your beast, so like however long that was, like that was a shit show.
It was quite a mess.
I think it's over now, though. I think that was what the patch was about. I didn't actually look, but I'm assuming it's over. That's good. You don't have to deal with that anymore. But other than that, well, I mean, it's just Pain trying to make some sort of play, which is nice. Trying to make plays, trying to get those kills. It might be a little bit too late, and it's definitely on the wrong target. They have to be going for like Lina, Vengeful Spirit. Hell, even the Batrider is pretty easy to kill off right now. Just don't go for the Abaddon not hugging a tier 2 tower. Go for like the Vengeful Spirit, who's just awkwardly in the middle lane. That's a very easy kill for Pain to take, just with any 2 heroes. Are you in?
No.
Okay. Well, I guess it's going to be radio because everyone else is in. So
Okay.
you have to fix your shit, man. They're going to take a mid lane tier 1 tower, Not Today. No contest there from Pain. They have a double damage rune on the Lina, so Not Today are working with quite a lot of DPS, and it looks like they're pinging out for Roshan. Everyone minus the Abaddon, who's actually going to go up and slow down the split push that the Beastmaster is applying towards the top lane. Roshan is going to be probably killed off pretty quickly, even double damage on the Lina. Not today, looking to grab a double life there, and Ifrit is tanking it up while it's taking no damage. Templar Assassin picking up a Desolator. She's going to be coming with the rest of her team to try to crash this Roshan party. They are going to get there in time to start a fight, but they won't get there in time to actually take the Aegis. Unless a spike goes through too, HFN is going to go straight towards the Vengeful Spirit, who is going to be dropped immediately, but Ifrit already has a double life. King RD is going to take a hell of a lot of damage. Laguna Blade not going to do too much to Templar Assassin. In fact, it bumped up refraction, but she will be worked down by Ifrit and his split shots regardless. ADR also dragged up to the high ground by the Batrider is going to take a fall. That's a 3-for-1 in favor of Not Today, as their Vengeful Spirit does buy back kind of unnecessarily so, but now they could go for a tier 2 tower very easily.
I'm going to try a Dota restart.
Okay, I'm going to keep going then. Because Not Today, they are still grouped up over in the mid lane, and well, they're just going to keep going. Only Beastmaster and the Sand King are alive for Pain right now, and that's sure as hell not going to be enough to stop 5 angry Not Today heroes. Their pushing power, as far as damage versus these towers, isn't really too intense. But they have a decent-sized creep wave here, plus a siege creep, so they will take down that, and there's still another 30 seconds until both the TA and Troll Warlord will be up. They will be up at the same time, and then at that point, Not Today are definitely going to have to make some sort of retreat, but until then, they're going to have a lot of free time to just do what they want to this tier 3 in the mid lane. Pain, they have no epicenter. It was previously used, and Ifrit is dropping low on mana, but he wants to use that Aegis. That's what he grabbed it for. Medusa just wants to die so that she get a full mana pool. However, 6 seconds left until the TA and Troll are up, and they will probably, their respawn is going to be enough to shove the Not Today side back, unless Not Today just want to go ham. Baga going to jump right in with the 2-man burst strike, spike onto 3 as well, but King RD ends up getting lassoed. Smash going to take a lot of damage, will be annihilated in this game. Ifrit will lose his Aegis pretty swiftly as well. Actually, he's not barely being focused. Misko going to pop his ultimate and try to go for King RD. Now the Aegis is going to be popped, but Smash is going to re-arrive with the Boots of Travels after having bought back. He will kill off that Templar Assassin. Now Ifrit, back at full HP, is going to pop the Stone Gaze, looking to turn someone to stone. Looks like he will only connect onto one, that's Baga, but still Ifrit's at half HP, has a lot of mana as well, but he's completely surrounded now as the rest of his team is leaving him to die. He's going to try to go for Tabo as his last dying wish, but he will be going down in the end. That's 75 seconds where Ifrit is offline, and they will also try to make the retreat with everyone else. Misko and Smash should be fast enough to make it out alive, but Not Today, pushing a little bit too aggressively into Pain.
Well, it took me a million years, and I only caught the very, very end of that on stream, which is unfortunate, but I'm actually back in the game, so that's all nice and good. Sounds like Not Today, just getting a little in over their heads. Getting an Aegis usually can signal a high ground push, but Pain's team fight is very potent, and the Medusa hasn't actually completed that next item, even though she is sitting on a whole truckload of gold. Immediately after, Pain should be able to take a tier 2 tower without Not Today really fighting this at all. It's actually not a Lincoln Sphere, it's a refresher for Batrider. Maybe they look to start a fight though. Yule's up the Troll to start things off, but now they're pulling forward on the backlines. Refresh lasso onto King RD. He's got 2 heroes on him, but who's actually focusing him down? They just don't have the damage. The Lina's on the backlines. We'll be able to Laguna Blade down the Troll, and it's dead. They'll roar into Smash, and now the Templar Assassin's going to start going ham. They'll Burrow Strike up with the Lina Killer on impact. And, well, it looks like that's going to be the end of the action here, at least for the time being. Pain find themselves with a slight advantage, although they do lose their Troll.
And Not Today, they so desperately need their Medusa to be there if they actually want to fight. She's their front line. She is doing most of the damage as well. Without her, Not Today are just going to be routed by the fact that Pain have a Troll who's just going to be diving headlong to the Not Today side. Templar Assassin going to be doing the exact same thing with her BKB. And even the Beastmaster and Sand King, to a much lesser extent, are going to be looking to do the same thing. But Not Today with no frontline are just going to crumble, and we saw that immediately. The Lina was forced on the retreat, and that's pretty much one of the reasons why that mid lane fight previously went poorly for Not Today, was because their Lina was demolished before she could get anything off. Pain, they strike back, and they strike back pretty hard. Not Today, they still have a pretty decent advantage in this game, but they just have to make sure that they're going to be fighting with all of their heroes. A 4v5 isn't going to cut it.
Yeah. I'll draw attention again to the Batrider's Refresh Roar. What are your thoughts on the item? Very peculiar. I thought the Perseverance would almost be surely a Lincoln Sphere.
Yeah, a Lincoln Sphere is just so amazingly great in this game. You're going up against the Lion. You could block Finger of Death, you could block Impale Hex, all that good stuff. And Beastmaster as well, getting rid of that Roar is going to be huge. Refresher Orb is typically like the last item you build on Batrider, like literally the 6th item, and it's not going to help him right here. He's going to get jumped by Baga, and King RD has a haste, but one more smack from the TA, and that Batrider is going to fall. I just don't think the lasso is high impact enough right now to warrant it. When Troll and TA are like doing unmanageable amounts of damage, then you need that extra disable. But for right now, you could just try to race them, and you could probably do it pretty easily. They're going to run into each other, though. It's going to be the Vengeful Spirit to take a very quick fall. Abaddon will blink out of there, but not today. They're leading heroes right now.
Yeah, that's very problematic. The Medusa is at the top of the net worth, but without all the defensive backup, I think that Pain can still take a pretty convincing fight with their TA and their Troll. So, although we're paused for the time being, I think Pain have found themselves a new lease on life, and it's going to be reflected in the graphs. It's almost zeroed out in both gold and experience.
Yeah, so this is really where Pain should have been a couple minutes ago. They kind of let Not Today get a little bit more advantage than they really should, but now that they've taken a couple of good fights, now that they have a Troll Warlord back in the Eye of Scotty, BKB on the Templar Assassin, which has so far been doing a lot of work, then they could just look to take, at the very least, this Tier 2 tower up towards top. With that Desolator and with a 5v3 on their hands, there's a very small chance that Not Today are going to defend it. In fact, this tower is going to drop so quickly that maybe even the top lane Tier 3 is going to take a little bit of heat.
Very well could. Right now, Not Today, I don't think they're really prepped to defend this Tier 2. Yeah, it's not actually happening. Tier 2 tower is gone.
Yeah, it's pretty much already dead. They're just, scattered split pushing from the Pain side. I am actually disconnecting now. What the hell?
I'm disconnecting again.
Oh my god.
This is fun.
Valve, please. Oh, jeez.
Okay, so it turns out that ending the Year Beast event has caused more issues than the actual Year Beast event.
Whoa, I wouldn't go that far yet, but it has caused quite a few issues. Jeez. Okay, well, hopefully everyone else is also having issues so that we're not missing anything. But I don't know. My internet's like not the greatest here. Your internet is pretty solid, and you're even having issues. So it's definitely on Valve's side of things.
I would assume so.
We're gonna blame them. It's much easier to blame them.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Because why would we take the blame? That just makes no sense. We never do anything wrong. Literally never.
Of course not.
Are you reconnecting? Because I'm struggling to
I'm
reconnect
back
as well. Are you the only one?
No, all the players are here. Maybe it's just US servers are having a hissy fit.
Yeah, I'm back too. And it looks like we didn't miss anything. Except for this Tier 2 tower dying, which was a given.
Yeah. Not really anything super interesting. There's a DD top, so maybe that can swing the favors into either side's hands in all honesty. But if Not Today get that for the Medusa, maybe they can actually look for an objective. But I think for the time being, both sides will just chill and wait until they get a pick.
Well, Not Today have that Batrider with a gem now, so they could buy a lot of space with that hero, but it looks like he's going to get roamed upon. Tavo, who is going to lead the way with that Roar, Burst Strike, Spike, everything, plus the Finger of Death for good measure. A little bit of a waste at a certain point, but hey, they get the kill nonetheless. Baga is going to get into a fight with Misko. He has Smash and Towers coming in from the back. Baga is going to Burst Strike out, however, he still gets stunned by the LSA, and a Laguna Blade will slay him. That's going to be a 1-for-1 that Not Today are kind of okay making, given how that fight started out. But for Pain, they just wanted to get that gem, and it costed them the Sand.
Yeah, I think that is fine because Misko was able to pick up that Gem of True Sight, and they'll be able to drop that on the Batrider again once he's up and running. Giving a gem over towards the Beastmaster is pretty similar for a gem on the Bat. Both heroes a lot of abilities to actually get vision on the high ground and take out wards very quickly. So, well then, I think the status quo really hasn't changed much. Both teams are down one of their big initiators, and they'll be back up simultaneously.
Right, so once that happens, I would expect a fairly similar play coming out from either side. Maybe Not Today will be the ones to group up and look for those kills, but man, their ability to reinforce those double travels are pretty insane. And if they run into anyone, then an Aghanim Scepter Laguna Blade does like a, 900 damage, 950 damage? Yeah, that'll wipe out a good portion of anyone's health pool. Really, it's only the Troll Warlord who will be standing decently against that. Maybe the Templar Assassin if she has Refraction up, but aside from that, they're just going to get kills, and it looks like they're on the hunt right now. Van and Smash, they're on the prowl, but the only real chance that they get on a kill is Tavo, and it looks like he's retreating. Or Baga, who's blinking into the wrong area. Rest in peace, Sand King. It was nice knowing you.
Lasso and Laguna Blade, just very easy kills. Looks like Smash is going to be going for an Ethereal Blade. I think more than anything, this is better defensively than actually as an aggressive item this game, but just having the Ghost for Lean is almost mandatory since the TA is doing so much damage with the MKB and Desolator picked up.
Yeah, you got to protect yourself against that Troll Warlord and that Templar Assassin. Templar Assassin at this point is just dishing damage, and if you survive with a little bit more time with that Ghost Scepter, then who knows, maybe you get the Light Strike Array off, maybe you get a little bit more time for Yule Scepter to come back online, then you just sling more spells. So it's a necessity, I would say, for the Lina, and to a lesser extent, I would like to see that on some other heroes as well, just to survive. Maybe they have higher priorities than their own survival, like Vengeful Spirit. If she dies, then that's fine for not today, but Abaddon would do pretty well with that item. Batrider would do great with that item, but they're not going to grab it just yet. They're instead going to wander around with the Vengeful Spirit, who's going to run into the wrong neighborhood. Again, it's going to be a random score getting picked off. Warfinger of Death. Okay, Pain, they're just not messing around. They're going to get kills whenever they get it, and they need to actually get those kills pretty quickly because not today, they're in the Roshan pit.
Yeah, pretty much the same kill we saw on the Lion just moments ago, but yeah, not today. It looks like this Roshan's going to be taken by them pretty freely, although TA is coming in with the pit, or trap will give them vision, and well, the Yule Scepter delaying as they get this Aegis up for Ifrit. Ifrit's going to get it, dropping the ultimate to secure the pickup. The Eurospike is going to land onto 2. Misko eats a Hex on the way out, but for now, it looks like not today. Find themselves with a pretty free Aegis.
They have a Haste Rune to grab as well, so Pain, they don't really invest too much in there. Stone Gaze was only used by the Not Today side. That's not really going to be a huge bother for them. So grabbing another Aegis, and I think the next one, this wasn't a cheese one, was it? No, that was just the second Roshan. So they have an Aegis to work with, and they are pretty powerful now. Their Medusa has picked up both that Butterfly from previous and that Monkey King bar. So she's dishing at this point. 300 damage a pop easy, not to mention split shot, not to mention the mini bashes. Plus, she's tanky as all hell, so this is going to be a very difficult fight to execute for Pain.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think Deuce is getting any scarier than with the Aegis inside her inventory. You can, in theory, get some more items, but I think not today. This is a great time to think about ending the game, or at the very least taking this mid set of barracks. They've already taken the tier 3 previously, and so going for this is pretty easy for them. Pain aren't in immediate position to defend, and they need to be.
Alright, the tower has already been taken down from previous. Range Rack's going to take the focus for right now. Medusa has backup, but that backup is not going to get hit by an Epicenter anytime soon. This positioning from Not Today is absolutely stellar. Since they have so many Blink Daggers and everything, they could close in and help their Medusa in the blink of an eye, but it looks like it's not even needed. Pain are going to sacrifice their Raxes, and that's just a huge green light to Not Today to do the exact same thing somewhere else. And seeing as though the tier 2 tower in the top lane is still alive, it's clearly going to be a bottom lane push for them. This Medusa is tanky enough inherently to take tower shots, and she's doing enough damage to erase the tower. But if she gets into any trouble, she has 2 Blink Daggers, 3 Blink Daggers to come in and help her, plus a swap. There's no chance that this Medusa is dying anytime soon, and even if she does, she has Aegis.
Yeah, it's really just not comfortable for Pain. How do they actually operate this? They'll open up with the Blink Hacks, and Medusa's backup is a little bit far behind, but Ifrit is hardly tickled. Medusa is going to turn around, and the high ground push is going to commence. Not today, or now in position, with the exception being the Batrider. He's a little too far behind right now.
Hey, you gotta farm that 2,900 gold. It's not buyback gold. I don't know what it is. Seems like it's nothing right now, but hey, he will be able to join the fight by the time he's needed. Ifrit, his illusions are doing some sizable damage towards the Pain heroes, but he's just going to poke at the tower. He is in absolutely no rush, seeing as though mid lane is also pushing in. Batrider going to be throwing some fireballs in the base as well, but Pain, they eventually have to do something about this. They can't just let the Medusa fire away. They have to be the ones to start this fight, because not today. They are not going to start the fight unless Pain started first.
Yeah, and, well, Van has that double lasso up and running too, so if Pain get clumped up around the Deusa, finding those double lasso targets on the Troll and TA can be absolutely damning. Or Spike going to miss, and the Medusa's going to continue doing Deusa things. 2-3 Tower's going to end up losing its life, and from here on out, Not Today will start focusing down the barracks. They'll open up with melees. The Blinking Lasso catches out one. They'll blow up the Lion, and the refreshed Lasso, they actually don't drop it on anybody, but Tavo's down too. Ifrit is going to lose pretty much all of the Deuce's mana, but there's your second lasso. They catch out the TA with no refraction. She's melted. Buybacks on all three heroes coming out from Pain. His ADR is going to open up into Van. Van is going to be bashed down by the Troll, but the Medusa is still standing pretty darn strong. They'll roar into smash and blink forward on the TA. TA is going to two-shot up onto the Lina, but buybacks galore as Ifrit's still going to town. ADR is going to be dropped low, and it looks like he's going to be losing his life one way or another. The Force Staffs will buy him some space, but blink in by Mystico. He's going in deep, but maybe a little too deep too. He's just an Abaddon after all. Ifrit back up with a full health and mana pool is going to be cleaving down the line even while he's hitting the barrack. Split shot is great. They'll look towards Tavo as well. He's down for 90 seconds and no TA for 120. I think this might just be our game 1 victory for NoT today.
Yeah, they pretty much just did the exact same thing as Pain just did. They were eventually losing those heroes, but because they have so many travels, they brought back, oh, Finger of Death on the Vengeful Spirit. Laguna Blade in response though, Smash is going to 1-for-1 you all day long, even going to set up for the LSA onto ADR. Not too much damage here, and the Troll Warlord is actually just going to turn around, but they have a third lasso. Seems like Spat Rider just has 100% uptime. Going to bring him into Ifrit, that's GG. Not today, they're able to out-buyback Pain, and well, they just suffered fewer casualties, so in that regard it was a little bit less glorious, but still, not today. They have a Medusa who survives through like 10 heroes worth of onslaught, and that's what happens when you let a Medusa farm. Pain, they had a draft that was meant to be going aggressive in 30 minutes, but they wait for 40, and it just cost them the game.
Yeah, very unfortunate for them. I definitely think that they do have it in them to take game number 2 off of NoT today. We'll have to see if they're going to be able to do it. However, coming up shortly here on HeflaTV HB1.